As apprentice philosophers, we are wisdom seekers, constantly striving to better understand the world around us and our place in it. Although as humans we may not have all the answers, our search for truth and meaning is what defines us as philosophers. Regarding human life, Seneca said, "No one teaches us, nor does anyone tell us what it is like." The art of living is complex, like handling any other device. Just as Jung observed, it is easier to take a man to the moon than to take him inside himself. Unfortunately, this complex art is not included in our modern education. Our education tends to be technical and utilitarian, emphasizing know-how to the detriment of knowing why, what for, and where, which are specific objects of philosophy. I'm Hamilton, and in this video we will see that it is crucial to discern between loneliness and isolation. Solitude, as Plato stated, is something absolutely healthy and necessary, a time to make an appointment with yourself. On the other hand, isolation is a muteness in relation to oneself, a lack of self-knowledge and internal dialogue. It's interesting to note that even in populated cities like New York, loneliness can be more prevalent than in smaller places. This is not due to a lack of people around, but rather a lack of connection with oneself. Establishing an internal dialogue, as recommended by ancient philosophers, is essential to break loneliness in the bad sense. Pythagoras suggested keeping a diary, while Plato encouraged making an appointment with one's soul. This healthy solitude is essential for personal development and depth of relationships. As Seneca said, "When friends come, I have something to share." If we are superficial towards ourselves, we will be superficial towards others and the world around us. We live in a materialistic era where the object takes precedence over the subject. We make ourselves and others objects, reducing ourselves to mere things. This lack of internal connection is unfortunate, a terrible repression of our true essence. Ultimately, the search for inner wisdom, self-knowledge, and dialogue with oneself is essential for a full and meaningful life. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Look within. Within is the beginning and the end of all things." Let's explore the concept of inside and outside. An intriguing phrase that resonates is "the more in, the more out." What does that mean? The more we are in tune with ourselves, the more we can be there for others. When we are not connected to ourselves, we will also not be truly connected to others. In this state, others become merely utilitarian, meeting our own needs and needs for validation. It is important to recognize that a superficial person can hardly harbor deep feelings. Thus, the more we go within, the more we expand into the world around us. We start from our own center to understand the heart of things. In this context, we can turn to the teachings of ancient Stoic philosophers, such as Epictetus. Flavio Arriano, disciple of Epictetus, compiled his master's thoughts in the Enchiridion, also known as The Art of Living. This book, translated by Sharon Labelle, offers a timeless approach to thinking about life and being prepared for any circumstance. Happiness, as Epictetus describes it, is not a static state, but rather a verb. It is a continuous performance of acts of valor, building our life moment by moment and benefiting not only ourselves but also those around us. While the idea of happiness as a verb may initially seem strange, it resonates deeply. Happiness is not something that is sought externally, but rather something that is cultivated internally through actions that are consistent and aligned with our values and virtues. Each being is unique and has its own identity, its own vocation for happiness. Just as a plant fulfills its nature by carrying out photosynthesis, and an animal finds its happiness in following its natural instincts and needs, human beings find their fulfillment by living in accordance with their values, virtues, and wisdom. When we bring our values and virtues to the world, we not only find personal happiness, but we also benefit as many beings around us as possible. This is a crucial aspect that we often neglect in contemporary society. The fundamental role of being genuinely human. In today's world, What we need most are human beings playing the role of true human beings. Values, virtues, and wisdom are the pressing needs of humanity, as the biblical tradition emphasizes. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. The cause of many evils in the world is not the scarcity of material goods, but rather the lack of fraternity and honesty. As the old saying goes, what's missing is always there. It is humanity that we need to rescue. Thus, a human being fulfills himself by acting as a human being, fulfilling his human duty at every step. Happiness, as Immanuel Kant observed, arises as a byproduct when we pursue human duty rather than pursuing happiness as an end in itself. It is essential to understand that true happiness cannot be achieved at any cost, as it must be in harmony with our dignity and honor. Seeking happiness as a continuous achievement, moment by moment, when we take our place in the universe and give meaning to our existence as human beings, is the true journey. By transforming our life into a myth, sacralizing it, and escaping banality, we contribute to the harmony of the cosmos. As Cicero said, make sure you are a factor in the lives of the people you participate in. Each of us, when passing through this world, has the potential to leave a positive legacy, contributing to personal and collective growth. Human life is a complex and nuanced journey. When a person takes action and their actions inspire others, they carry with them some responsibility for the results of that impact. This summary highlights the importance of focusing and synthesizing life's lessons, an essential habit for personal growth. An essential aspect is understanding the human ideal. For Epictetus, happiness is found by traveling the journey from ignorance to wisdom. This quest for wisdom, known as philosophy, is the path to true fulfillment. All beings find happiness when they follow their path towards their ideal. Philosophy is not just an academic discipline, but a journey of self-knowledge and personal growth. It is an inexorable ally in the search for wisdom and meaning in life. Even if we don't realize it, each of us has a responsibility to walk toward wisdom and help others in their growth. Fraternity is a central virtue on this journey. Helping others to become better is the essence of a meaningful life. As Buddhist tradition says, a word that brings comfort is worth 1,000 meaningless words. Every human encounter is an opportunity to make a difference in the lives of others and in our own. Fidelity, defined as belief in the order of the universe and trust in the laws that govern it, is essential to maintaining inner peace and avoiding bitterness and perplexity. Life is not chaos, but rather a cosmos, and our actions have significant consequences within this order. Therefore, each of us must reflect on the role we play in the world and how our actions affect those around us. By focusing our efforts on following the path of wisdom and brotherhood, we can contribute to a more harmonious and meaningful world. Life is not random chaos, but rather an ordered cosmos. This belief in the underlying order of life has a profound impact on how we interpret our experiences. Every event, no matter how trivial it may seem, has a purpose and a lesson to teach. Believing in the order of life allows us to see each event as part of a larger plan. We are like students in a school of life, facing tests and challenges designed for our growth and development. These challenges can come in the form of difficult people, uncomfortable situations, or unexpected obstacles. It's important to recognize that life doesn't give us anything we don't need or aren't ready to face. Every challenge is an opportunity to learn and grow, both individually and together with others. Our ability to face these challenges with courage and determination is intrinsically linked to our belief in the order and purpose of life. Fidelity to the belief in the order of life is the antidote to feelings of bitterness and perplexity. In times of challenge and adversity, it is this faith in the order of the universe that gives us the strength and resilience to move forward. By embracing this philosophy of life, we can find meaning and purpose even in the most difficult times. On life's journey, The experiences we face are precisely the ones we need to grow and evolve. There is no chaos, just an upward sense in overcoming challenges, a lesson that can be compared to our children's school lives. Stoicism, in times of crisis like ours, offers a valuable perspective. We live in an era of crisis of values and materialism, where lack of self-knowledge and alienation are common. Stoicism invites us to place ourselves consciously and harmoniously in life, offering practical guidance for dealing with modern challenges. Kindness is fundamental in this search for harmony. Not only is it a practice in itself, but it is also its own reward. Character building, as the Stoics teach us, is like tuning the strings of an instrument over a lifetime. A subtle, ongoing adjustment that makes us better human beings. However, the practical application of these principles is not always easy. Many of us identify deeply with our thoughts and emotions, believing they define who we are. However, our true identity lies beyond these fleeting manifestations. We are beings in constant evolution, capable of shaping our character and directing our lives as we wish. By recognizing this capacity for self-transformation, we can free ourselves from self-imposed limitations and embrace a path of continuous growth. The key to this transformation lies in knowing yourself and mastering yourself. We need to look beyond external influences and find our inner essence, the one that remains constant while our thoughts and emotions change over time. By imagining and imitating valuable models, we can direct our imagination constructively, rather than being influenced by superficial models imposed by society. In doing so, we can create a sense of purpose and meaning in our lives, becoming architects of our own destiny. Having a personal project of integrity is a noble goal, but are you truly managing your life accordingly? Do you have a clear picture of how to achieve this integrity? If you don't have it, you run the risk of building an image of popularity, seeking fame, recognition, and possessions, which is desired by many, but may be to the detriment of deeper values. The space of your imagination must be occupied by a concrete model. There was a time when I and my students thought it was a joke, but it was a fact. Every time I picked up a book about the life of a wise man, I wrote it down on cardboard and stuck it on the closet door. It was a contemporary work of art, full of colors, but more importantly, inspiring. I needed to visualize the behavior of a wise man to shape my own life. Just like an artist carving a stone looking at a model, we too need valuable role models, heroes who are one step ahead of us, able to offer answers to questions we don't yet understand. Cultivating the memory of these heroes reminds us of human potential and fills our imaginative space. Philosophy challenges us to face the false premises of our lives, requiring courage to recognize them. When we are faced with situations in which we act contrary to our ideals, it is painful to admit our weaknesses, but it is from this realization that transformation occurs. Evil arises from negligence, from distraction from our life goals. Happiness, on the other hand, comes from striving for personal improvement. Sleeping the sleep of the righteous means facing each day as a human being, responding to the demands of life in accordance with our values. The real motivations behind our actions determine the quality of the fruits we leave in the world. Works that arise from pure intentions stand the test of time and transcend generations, while those motivated by vanity or superficiality are lost in oblivion. Distrusting social conventions and supporting only that which has a sense of justice, humanity, and kindness requires courage. It won't always be popular to question the status quo, but it is necessary to promote human growth. Discovering our role in life and being true to it, regardless of the choices of others, is essential. It is up to ourselves, not others, to follow our high principles. So, at any point in your life, stop and ask yourself, am I living according to my principles? Am I heading in the direction I want? Be an active agent in your own narrative, as nothing in the world can replace the peace of mind that comes from living in harmony with your deepest values. Saving yourself can mean carrying other people with you. In the abyss, solidarity disappears and everyone perishes. So, the courage to build your identity involves looking inside yourself and asking, who am I? How can I fulfill myself? What are the things I manifest in the world? Discovering your own identity requires internal dialogue, building principles, and increasing lucidity. This is maturity. Maturity is not a matter of time, but of human merit. It is an internal process that only occurs if desired. Identity comes from within, from the essence of each person. It is not imposed from outside. Get rid of ambition and fear. Just aspire to be the best of yourself. An exceptional life is one that responds to what is needed in the best possible way. By your works you will know yourselves. Each action leaves a trace in the world, indicating that a human being passed by. This is sacralizing life, giving meaning to our actions, manifesting our human identity in the world. Right action is one that seeks to express who we are in the world. There are no good or bad events, just actions that challenge us to ask what is the right thing to do now. It's naming things, observing without judging. Personalizing problems makes us feel like victims, feeding the culture of victimization. Contemplating the world with freshness means being free from prejudice, looking at each situation clearly and without prior plans. Let us learn from life, but let us forget how much we paid for it. Carrying the weight of the past prevents us from growing and eventually leads us to stagnation. We must learn from our experiences without clinging to them. Otherwise, we run the risk of choosing to die under the weight of our own burden. A life without opportunities for growth has no purpose. If life no longer offers space to grow, why live it? It's a harsh truth, but it's something to ponder as it seems quite sensible. Combating negative habits involves spacing them out, earning each day without them. Nothing changes easily. If we manage to space out our weaknesses between our bouts of laziness, we have already achieved something. Addictions are difficult to break, but by spacing out your symptoms, you buy time. We must not give up on ourselves. Life is not something we can just abandon. The fight against our defects is not easy, and we will not be victorious immediately. We came to the world to be victorious over ourselves, to achieve a purer identity and leave our mark on the world. Living is an art that requires discipline. We must observe our thoughts, feelings, and motivations, seeking to raise our consciousness with elevated thoughts, good reading, good music, and deep reflections. Discipline means doing what is necessary to keep our consciousness high and fight the daily battle to conquer ourselves. It's time to put our principles into practice without excuses or delays. Let us decide to be extraordinary people and act accordingly right now. We cannot miss the opportunity to build a more human life, to truly live with other human beings. Life sharpens us or wears us down, depending on the metal we are made of. We must reflect on this and realize that we are capable of building a more meaningful and human life. We cannot be content with facades or social training. We must transform ourselves, know ourselves, and live authentically and compassionately. This is the basis of any true change and any solution to the problems we face. Knowing yourself and transforming yourself are the first steps towards a fuller and more meaningful life. In short, the journey of self-transformation is an ongoing search for growth, authenticity, and meaning. As we reflect on the words of wisdom shared here, we are reminded of the importance of cultivating a life of purpose and awareness. If you feel inspired by these ideas and want to dive deeper into Stoic philosophy and practices for living a fuller life, I invite you to join us at the Academy for Modern Stoic. Together, we can embark on this journey of self-discovery and growth, building more authentic, meaningful, and compassionate lives. Visit our channel at Academy for Modern Stoic and start your journey today.